There is no answer for what the Kansas City Chiefs are doing, so we're going to be going through that and 3 other stories in today's video. So make sure to like this video, and if you want more Kansas City Chiefs news content like this, make sure to subscribe to the channel by hitting that red button down below. The first story is the real reason why Kansas City Chiefs lost against Philadelphia Eagles. The Kansas City Chiefs hosted the Philadelphia Eagles in a Monday Night Football rematch of Super Bowl LVY. One team entered the halftime break with a 10-point lead, but this time around it was Andy Reid's bunch that started the second half in the driver's seat. Over the next 30 minutes of play, the visitors came scratching and clawing back to take a 4-point lead late into the fourth quarter. That's all the Eagles needed, as the Chiefs didn't have enough answers to complete a comeback. Here are some key takeaways from Monday night's game. The inconsistency of the 2023 Chiefs offense has been well documented many times over in recent weeks. Entering the Week 10 bye, many wondered what Reid and his staff would come up with as a plan of attack for Philadelphia's talented defense. It was painfully obvious that Kansas City needed a mini reset on that side of the ball, and Monday featured a few new wrinkles thrown into the mix by the Chiefs to start. In the first half, the home team stuck to its roots by playing plenty of 12 personnel, 1 running back, 2 tight ends. Something that didn't get implemented a ton pre-bye, however, was double pre-snap motion by both of those tight ends. Kansas City didn't shy away from that early. Additionally, Kadarius Toney was used in the backfield on a couple of occasions, and Clyde Edwards-Helaire even logged a nice rush on a toss play with Travis Kelce used as an insert blocker of sorts. Reid and offensive coordinator Matt Nagy dialed the different elements back for a good chunk of the second half, with the offense also making plenty of self-inflicted mistakes along the way. A lack of second half production is totally common for Chiefs games this season, so the offense didn't have questions answered about it in the grand scheme. That's the tough part. There isn't much to say about the Chiefs' defense that hasn't already been said this season. A combination of 2022 rookies now being in their sophomore campaigns and some savvy free agent pickups by general manager Brett Veach has led to the unit being one of the NFL's very best. Defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo now has the horses to call whatever he wants within his system, which hasn't always been the case. Cornerback Trent McDuffie recently mentioned that after allowing 35 points to Philadelphia back in February, he felt that the defense still had something to prove. In the first half, it proved its excellence further. An offense that entered the game converting on half of its third downs ended up conversion-less in the first half on 3 tries. The Eagles logged just 78. Total net yards in half number 1, averaging a lowly 3.4 yards per play in the process. The Chiefs' pass rush got after Jalen Hurts 5 times in the first half, with McDuffie himself accounting for a couple of them. Philadelphia came into Monday with the number 3 scoring offense in the NFL. No one would have been able to tell by watching the opening half in Kansas City. The defense was once again a bright spot despite a loss. In addition to having an offense that struggled to get out of its own way with things like missed assignments, drops, and other mental lapses, turnovers have been abundant in 2023. Coming into Monday's game, the Chiefs had 17 giveaways on offense, and their 13 takeaways as a defense secured them a 4 turnover differential. That trailed 20-plus teams league-wide, surely a culprit that helped explain the team's struggles at times this year. In Week 11, turnovers came at the worst possible times. In the first half, the Chiefs were driving before Mahomes floated a pass intended for Justin Watson, and it was picked off by Eagles safety Kevin Byard. In the fourth quarter, tight end Travis Kelce hauled in a pass, but later had the ball forced out. For an offense that doesn't let points come easily, this was par for the course. In one-score games, such major mistakes can truly turn out to be the difference. Drops are another subject for another day, but finishing off either of those turnover possessions with a touchdown would have gone a long way toward helping the Chiefs win. On one hand, the Chiefs made so many terrible mistakes on Monday night and still had a chance to engineer a game-winning drive late in the fourth quarter. On the other hand, the offense continued to completely stall out in the second half, and the same issues that plagued Kansas City before the bye continue to do so. Reid's team has simultaneously remained squarely in the Super Bowl contender mix and also looked like a potential first-round exit team this year. Beauty is in the eye of the beholder, sure, but this ugly loss shouldn't really help anyone's long-term outlook on the 2023-24 Chiefs. The second story is Travis Kelce admits he may retire from Kansas City Chiefs sooner than we think. The Kansas City Chiefs and Travis Kelce have been synonymous for more than a decade, especially the last few years as they've won 2 Super Bowls and made 5 straight appearances in the AFC Championship game. And the starting tight end has played a vital role in each major accomplishment for the franchise. Along with his best friend, quarterback Patrick Mahomes, this dynamic duo is feared on game days by opponents and loved by just about everyone that watches football. But the reality of Kelce's situation with the Chiefs is that he is 34 years old. In football terms, it means you're getting old, to the point where thinking about retirement must come into play. Kelce has no intentions of quitting the game anytime soon. The Chiefs have him under contract, making just over $14 million per season until 2026, when he'll be an unrestricted free agent at 37 years old. However, in an in-depth look at the life of one of the most recognizable talents in the game, who is destined for the Hall of Fame as arguably the best tight end ever by the Wall Street Journal's J.R. Mohringer, Kelce admits retirement is on the mind. More than anyone could ever imagine, Kelce told Mohringer. One reason retirement is on the mind of Kelce is the physical toll of football, not just in the NFL, but over many years of play. Mohringer highlights Kelce's close-knit friend group, how after games they sit around his kitchen island and chop it up. But he doesn't always disclose how he's feeling, what his body is going through during a season. That's the only thing I've never really been open about, the discomfort, the pain, the lingering injuries, the 10 surgeries I've had, that I still feel every single surgery to this day, Kelce said. But that's football, unfortunately. All players must keep going through the grueling injuries, bruises, scratches, and so on. He has phenomenal pain tolerance, Chiefs tight ends coach Tom Melvin said. He's played through things that other athletes I've coached through the years have not been able to push through. Mentally tough, way off the charts. This year alone, Kelce had to miss the season opener with a bone bruise in his knee. Then, against the Minnesota Vikings, he suffered an ankle injury that was expected to sideline him, but he returned and played through it. But Kelce also knows that he's built a brand, one that allows him many options after football is over. Sometimes he sees himself in a broadcasting booth, Mohringer writes. Sometimes his manager talks about action flicks. You also get the sense Kelce toys with notions of doing some form of comedy. He haunts clubs, lives for open mic nights, and he's gotten to be friendly with several rising stand-ups. Kelce has already hosted Saturday Night Live, while being the spokesperson for Pfizer and Bud Light, among many other endorsements. His celebrity status has also taken a major shift due to his relationship with music megastar Taylor Swift. He's also not the only Kelce dealing with what comes after retirement. In the Amazon Prime Video documentary Kelce, we find Philadelphia Eagles center and older brother, Jason Kelce, battling emotions toward the end when thinking about hanging up his cleats for good. He eventually made the decision to play another season with the Eagles, and their now household name mother, Donna Kelce, told Fox News Digital recently that he's been teetering with the decision for years now. At the end of the 2023 season, Jason Kelce may very well make the announcement that he's done with the game. His little brother seems to have some time left. He's still arguably the best tight end in football, playing a pivotal role on a Chiefs team that will see the Eagles for a Super Bowl rematch on Monday night. Kelce will try to make more superstar plays to bring his team to victory. He hopes he can continue to do that for quite some time, with more Super Bowl rings to add to his collection. But retirement is still in the back of his mind. When will it start to come more toward the front is the big question. The third story is the 2023 Kansas City Chiefs have a new identity. After the Kansas City Chiefs finished a 7-point win over the Minnesota Vikings in Week 5 with a couple of fourth-quarter stops rather than any late-game heroics from Patrick Mahomes, defensive coordinator Steve Spagnuolo gave a few words of thanks to the team's quarterback. "It was kind of nice of Pat to let us finish the game this time," Spagnuolo said after the Chiefs' 27-20 victory. "Usually, they take care of business." Spagnuolo could have said the same thing a few times this season, including after the most recent game against the Miami Dolphins 2 weeks ago, when the defense not only scored the Chiefs' final touchdown, but held the Dolphins scoreless in the fourth quarter to preserve a 21-14 win. Mahomes has been quick after several wins this season to credit the defense for doing the heavy lifting. However, Coach Andy Reid complained recently about the offense doing things that I haven't seen before. A reference to dropped passes, incorrect pass routes, turnovers, penalties, and a general lack of production. For tight end Travis Kelce, it's been outright frustration. Our defense is playing their tail off, Kelce said recently on his New Heights podcast. For us to keep turning it over, we're putting them in bad situations, and they're saving our tail. It's getting real one-sided. It's not like what we've been in the past. We've got, in my mind, the best offensive mind in the game. We've got the best quarterback, so this is not acceptable, and we all feel that way. It's a challenge at this point in the season to get this thing right now before it gets out of control and it gets really bad. This is from a team on pace to become the AFC's top playoff seed. The Chiefs led the NFL in scoring last year,